Hello, period 4. If you were not in class today, we went over the study guide. So be sure to watch, listen, so you know how I expect for you to fill this in the day of your test when I see you next. Write the ratio as a fraction in simplest form. When I'm writing these, you need to have labels. These are not fractions. It's not 5/20ths. It's 5 meters to 20 meters. Simplified would be 1 meter to 4 meters. Okay. Number 2, use the ratio table to find the unit rate. Remember, unit rate means 1. And again, you need to label. You can choose any of these. Does not matter which one you choose. Obviously, you can't really choose 0 to 0. Unit rate means 1. So let's write 31 miles on 2 gallons of gas. I want to know how many miles for 1 gallon of gas. So we're going to divide by 2. And again, just show me your work to get 15.5 miles per gallon. That would be the unit rate. Tell whether the ratios form a proportion. Just show me if you're going to use common multipliers, cross products, or simplifying. I think it's going to be easier to do common multipliers on this one. 11 times 3 is 33. 12 times 3 is 36. Those two proportions are equivalent, so my answer would be yes. Number 4, tell whether the two rates form a proportion. Okay, 14 books in 2 boxes would be 7 books per box. Is that in proportion with 20 books in 3 boxes? If I want to get down to 1 box, divide by 3, that's not going to come out real pretty. That is not 7 books per box, right? So we're going to say no, they are not in proportion. So just show both ratios and then give me a yes or no on that the day of the test. Use the table to write a proportion. Does it say anything about solving? It doesn't. It just says to write a proportion. It doesn't say to write a fraction or write a proportion. Emails in 8 hours. Proportion means they're equal. 30 emails in 10 hours. Number 6 says solve the proportion. You can solve it any way you choose, common multiplier, cross products, whichever you wish. I know 9 times 9 is 81. 8 times 9 would be 72, so P is 72. You could also do 9 times P, 9P, and then do 8 times 81, whatever that is, and then divide both sides by 9 to get P by itself if you wish to do it that way. That one would require a little bit more work. Number 7, pay close attention to this one. Okay, you've got one very similar. A chemical compound requires 8 ounces of chemical A, 12 ounces of chemical B. A mixture contains 24 ounces of chemical A, 30 ounces of chemical B. How can you fix the mixture to make the chemical compound? Okay, so chemical compound is right here. So we're going to say it is 8 ounces of chemical A to 12 ounces chemical B. Okay, a mixture contains 24 ounces of chemical A and 30 ounces of chemical B. So we want to know how we can fix the mixture to make it the same, to make these two proportionate or equal, okay? Few things we can do here. The easiest, guys, would again be to use common multipliers. How do I get from 8 to 24? Multiply by 3. If I multiply this by 3, the denominators, I need this chemical B to be 36, right? So the question is, how can you fix the mixture? Okay, so I'm going to fix it by add 6 ounces to chemical B. That's how I would fix the mixture. So they're both equivalent to 2/3 if you simplify them, okay? So they're both in proportion. Again, you may want to go back and review how I just solved number 7. You're going to see one very similar to it on the day of your test. Solve the proportion. I'm going to do cross products. 10 times K is 10K. 9 times 5 is 45. Divide to solve for K. So I get 4.5 or 4.5. Again, just make sure you're showing your work. Number 9, we're going to find slope for 9 and 10. I can't really look rise over run on this one. That one doesn't really work. So I'm just going to do the change in X over the change in Y. From 1.6 to 2 would be a positive 0.4. From 4 to 5 is a positive 1 hop. So slope is 0.4. 10, you should be able to see and go, oh, it rises 1 and it runs 2. That should be a slope of 1/2. We can check it by doing change in Y over the change in X. From 0 to 1, 1 hop to the right. From 0 to 2, 2 hops to the right. So that is a slope of 1/2. Graph the data. Find and interpret the slope of the line. We need to graph each of these first. So we're going to graph 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10, and 6, 12. 3, 6, 4, 8, 5, 10, 6, 12. Okay, graph it. Can do that. Step 1, done. I've graphed it. Find and interpret slope. Okay. Again, you can't really tell rise 1, run 1, so just choose any 2 ordered pairs. I'm just going to choose the first 2 and find slope. From 6 to 8, that's a change of a positive 2. From 3 to 4, that's a change of a positive 1. So slope is 2. Okay. Find the slope of the line that passes through these points. Okay. Change in Y over the change in X. From a negative 13 on the number line all the way to a positive 15, that is 28 hops to the right. That's positive. From 4 to 8 would be 4 hops to the right. Let's not leave it like that. 28 over 4 is 7, right? So slope is 7. That's a rather steep line. Okay, we're going to cross off 13, 14. We did not talk about constant of proportionality. Okay, 15 and 16. Remember that when we did conversions, I told you that I would be giving you the conversion sheet the day of the test. That will be on the overhead. So I'm looking at the conversion sheet. I'm looking at inches to centimeters, and it's telling me that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. I'm going to write that down as my ratio. And then the question is 7.5 inches is how many centimeters? Okay. So we can multiply it by 7.5 or do cross products. It does not matter which way we chose to do this. When we do 2.54 times 7.5, you get 19.05. Make sure we're labeling. Okay. Number 16, looking at the conversion chart, it's telling me that 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. We want to know 90 pounds is how many kilograms. You can multiply by 90 if you wish, or use cross products. It does not matter. We should get 40.5 kilograms. All right, guys, and fair game review. Last chapter was all about inequalities. Let's see what you remember. We're going to divide by a negative. What happens when you divide by a negative? Your inequality flips. We're going to get a negative 6 would be 24 and 2/4. Simplified would be a half. Negative 6.5 or 6.5. Subtracting with mixed numbers, I need a common denominator. Let's do 30 would be our least common multiple, times 6, times 5, subtract 2 and 13/30. And then finally, we're going to do 75 and 300ths divided by 6.1. You may not have a decimal on the outside. We got to scooch it, and then we can rewrite it. So we should get 12.3. Alrighty, period 4. Videos are in Canvas. Lots of suggestions for IXL on Canvas. Go ahead and key